Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Explore English Podcast. I'm Jack. This episode is a 1-hour listening and shadowing practice. It is a long, gentle story about life, discovery, hope, and learning to trust yourself. The language is slow, clear, and simple. It is perfect for beginning-level learners. I want you to just listen and relax. You can listen many times. You can repeat the sentences aloud. You can shadow my voice if you like. This is how you train your ears, your mouth, and your brain to think in English naturally. This is not a grammar lesson. It is not a vocabulary list. It is a story. And stories are one of the best ways to improve your English. They help you understand real sentences, real feelings, and real conversations. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. It really helps us make more lessons like this for Explore English Podcast. So, find a quiet place, take a deep breath, and let's begin this journey together. Gentle music fades. My name is Jack. I am 32 years old. I live in a peaceful town near a green forest. Every morning, I wake up early. I open my window and let the fresh morning wind come in. The sky is usually soft and blue. I like mornings. They feel like a fresh start. I make a warm mug of coffee, sit on my porch, and watch the yellow sunlight cover the trees. Today is special. It is the beginning of a new habit in my life. I have decided to do something different. For a long time, I lived my life in the exact same pattern. Waking up, riding the train to work, sitting at my desk, coming home, watching television, and sleeping. It was comfortable, but it was not inspiring. I felt like a bird in a cage, looking at the bright open sky but never opening my wings. I want to expand my mind. I want to discover what I can do. I want to become someone braver, more thoughtful, and more patient. That is why I made a simple promise to myself. I will welcome new choices into my life. Starting today, I will try one small new activity every week. It does not matter if I succeed or fail. What matters is that I try. I write these words in a small brown journal. They are simple, but they are powerful. Personal growth does not happen in a single moment. It is built quietly through small daily habits. As I finish my coffee, my heart beats a little faster. I feel slightly nervous, but I also feel full of hope. A small light inside me is turning on. And this time, I am ready to follow it. For the first week, I choose something very simple. Riding a bicycle to work instead of taking the busy subway. It is not a huge change, but it feels completely different from the very first minute. The morning air is crisp and clean. I can feel the cool breeze on my arms. Matching bright daylight fills the streets, and the town is just waking up. As I pedal down the road, I start to notice details I never paid attention to before. There is a charming fruit stand near the corner, and the sweet smell of fresh oranges fills the air. A dog is sitting near a colorful garden, watching the birds with quiet curiosity. An elderly woman is watering her red flowers. She looks up and gives me a warm, gentle wave. These are simple, common sights, but they feel magical because I am paying attention. I am not looking down at a screen. I am not stressing about the clock. I am just riding my bicycle and feeling the world move around me. It makes me realize something simple: maybe there is beauty all around us every single day. We just forget to pause and look. At first, riding the bicycle is tiring. The road goes up a steep hill, and my legs begin to burn. I feel like stopping and pushing my bicycle up the hill. But then I remember the promise I wrote in my notebook: to stay strong and not give up when things feel difficult. So, I keep pushing the pedals. With every rotation of the wheel, I feel a little stronger. The top of the hill feels closer. The sun feels warmer on my back. And a quiet voice inside my heart says, "This is how progress happens. One pedal at a time." When I arrive at my office building, I feel full of energy. I feel awake, alive, and ready for the day. I decide to take another small step forward. Speak to David. David is a coworker who works near the bright window down the hall. He always wears a calm smile and keeps beautiful indoor plants on his desk. I always wanted to ask him about his plants, but I felt too shy. I thought he might be too focused on his work. Today, I overcome my hesitation. I walk over, smile, and say, "Good morning, David. Your plants look so healthy. How do you keep them so green?" He looks up, his eyes light up, and he smiles warmly. "Oh, thank you, Jack. It's all about giving them the right light and not rushing the process," he replies. And just like that, we begin a pleasant conversation. At first, my voice is a bit hesitant, but soon we are talking easily. We talk about nature. We talk about our favorite quiet spots in the city. We talk about how nice it is to slow down during a busy day. I discover that David is very thoughtful, patient, and easy to talk to. Later that afternoon, I understand a valuable truth. Most of our fears are created inside our own thoughts. They are like dark clouds. They look heavy and intimidating from far away, but when you walk through them, they clear away. When I ride my bicycle home in the evening, my body is tired, but my mind is clear and peaceful. Today, I accomplished two small, brave things. I rode my bike up a tough hill, and I started a conversation with someone new. They were simple actions, but they mattered. Before going to bed, I write in my brown journal. Today, I moved forward twice. I felt the fresh wind. I noticed the beauty of my town. I spoke without hesitation. I learned that new confidence comes from action. I look at the ink on the page and smile. Growth is not a fast race. It is not about reaching the destination instantly. It is a comfortable walk. One small step followed by another. And I am learning to enjoy every single step. The next morning, I ride my bicycle again. This time, I notice even more details. The sound of birds singing in the high trees. The rich aroma of roasting coffee beans from a local shop. The gentle way the morning light bounces off the windows. I wave back at the woman watering her flowers. The dog near the garden wags its tail as I pass. And in that quiet moment, a deeper feeling settles inside me. Small daily choices might seem tiny, but they completely change how we experience our lives. A few days later, on a cool Friday evening, I decide to take a long walk near the river. The orange sun is sinking low behind the hills. The water glides smoothly along the bank. The air carries the clean, refreshing scent of water and damp earth. It is one of those peaceful times when the whole world seems to slow down. As I stroll along the path, I see an elderly man sitting alone on a stone bench. His hair is silvery white, and his coat is old. But his expression is filled with deep calm. His eyes are bright and full of gentle wisdom. It looks as though he understands the quiet rhythm of the universe. Feeling inspired, I sit down on the other end of the stone bench. He turns his head slowly, offers a kindly smile, and says hello. We begin to talk. His voice is soft, steady, and soothing, like the gentle river current. His name is Arthur. He is 82 years old, and he has lived near this forest his entire life. He tells me he sits on this bench every evening to watch the water flow. The river is my daily teacher, he says with a gentle laugh. I look at the flowing water and ask him, what does the river teach you, Arthur? He points toward the middle of the river and answers. Notice how the water flows around the rocks. It does not fight the heavy stones. It simply moves around them, continuously moving forward. Life works the exact same way. Seasons change. Obstacles appear. But if you keep moving forward with grace, you will always find your way. Then Arthur looks at me and shares a lesson I will cherish forever. We gain wisdom when we truly listen, to other people, to nature, and to our own inner voice. Most people speak constantly, but rarely pause to listen. If you learn to sit quietly and listen, life will show you the right direction. I sit silently beside him for a long time after he stops talking. The sound of the flowing river feels richer now. The evening air feels full of meaning. On my walk home under the twilight sky, I reflect on Arthur's words. I realize that I spent years trying to control every detail of my life. My career, my schedule, my future. I overthought every decision. I worried about every minor mistake. But true strength is not about controlling everything. True strength is about trust. Trusting the journey. Trusting that every experience, good or bad, is teaching us something valuable. That night, I open my brown journal by the warm lamp on my desk. The room is quiet. I write down. Today, I practiced listening. I learned that deep wisdom often arrives quietly, like a gentle breeze. From that day forward, I begin to practice deep listening every day. Not just with my ears, but with my whole heart. I listen to the gentle rain pitter-pattering on my roof at night. I listen to the rustle of autumn leaves blowing through the trees. I listen to the quiet space between my own thoughts. And most importantly, I listen to my own inner thoughts. I listen to my hopes, even when they seem ambitious. I listen to my doubts, without letting them discourage me. I listen to my feelings of uncertainty, not to run away, but to understand what they are trying to teach me. Bit by bit, I begin to know myself much better. I notice what activities spark joy in my mind. I notice what thoughts create unnecessary stress. I learn to speak to myself with kindness. I learn to give myself permission to be imperfect. Listening turns into a daily exercise, a peaceful way to stay connected to the world around me. And with every passing day, I feel a steady, positive transformation growing within me. A quiet confidence takes root in my heart. Life is constantly speaking to us, in nature, in our daily interactions, and inside our quiet moments. All we need to do is pause, listen, and learn. 2 weeks later, I decide to try something that used to terrify me. Giving a presentation at work. Yes, standing in front of a room of people and speaking clearly. At my workplace, our team gathers in a conference room every Monday morning. Usually, I sit in the back row, write notes, and stay quiet. But this time, I raise my hand during the discussion. I offer to present a simple idea for organizing our weekly work schedule. My heart begins to pound against my chest. My hands feel slightly cold. Anxious thoughts whisper, what if you stumble over your words? What if your idea isn't good enough? But I remember my commitment. To step out of my comfort zone. To choose growth over fear. I stand up, walk to the front of the room, and take a deep breath. At first, my voice sounds a bit quiet, but as I keep speaking, it becomes clear and confident. I explain my points carefully and simply. When I finish speaking, the room is quiet for a moment. Then my supervisor nods with approval and says, "That is a very practical solution, Jack. Thank you for sharing it." A wave of warmth fills my chest. I feel proud of myself, not because the presentation was flawless, but because I found the courage to step forward. That night, I open my brown journal and write. Courage is not the total absence of fear. Courage is taking action even when fear is sitting right beside you. Fear is a natural part of being human. Everyone experiences it. But when you face it gently, it loses its ability to hold you back. Now, not every new project I try goes smoothly. Sometimes, things turn out messy, and that is completely fine. It is an essential part of learning. About a month into my promise, I decide to take an introductory pottery class at a local community workshop. I have always admired handmade ceramic bowls and vases. In my imagination, I see myself shaping clay effortlessly into a beautiful piece of art on my very first try. The actual reality was quite different. My very first attempt at shaping a clay bowl turns into a lopsided, squished piece of mud. The clay wobbles on the spinning wheel, collapses to one side, and splashes water onto my apron. Even the patient teacher chuckles softly when she sees my crooked creation. For a brief second, I feel embarrassed. I feel like throwing the clay away and walking out of the studio. I want to tell myself, I am just not good at this. But then I remind myself of my original promise. I did not promise to be an expert. I promised to participate and enjoy the learning process. So, I wipe my hands, smile, and start again. My second attempt is still lopsided. My third attempt looks slightly more like a small dish. And my fourth attempt, while far from perfect, can actually hold water. It makes me laugh out loud with genuine happiness. I learn a profound truth that evening. Mistakes are not the opposite of achievement. They are the foundation of achievement. Every single mistake provides a lesson. I write in my journal. My pottery bowl is crooked, but I am thankful for it. Failure is simply a patient teacher in disguise. As the weeks continue to pass, I notice another common habit. I am often far too strict with myself. I set high expectations. I want to see fast results and make rapid progress every single day. And when things move slowly, I catch myself feeling impatient. One night, while looking in the bathroom mirror after a long, exhausting workday, I sigh and think, why am I not improving faster? Then I remember something wise old Arthur said by the river. You cannot force a flower to bloom faster by pulling on its petals. You simply provide it with fertile soil, warm sunlight, clean water, and patient time. I realize I need to offer that exact same patience to myself. Personal development requires time. It requires understanding, care, and gentleness. That evening, I sit down and write a compassionate letter to myself in my brown journal. In the letter, I forgive myself for past mistakes. I appreciate my effort for trying new things. I promise to treat myself with the same kindness and encouragement I would give to a dear friend. The following morning, I wake up feeling light and refreshed. I take a leisurely walk to work, feeling the cool air against my face. I smile warmly at people passing by on the sidewalk. I stop by the river bank for 5 minutes just to listen to the water flow smoothly around the stones. I open my journal and add a short note. Self-compassion is not a sign of weakness. It is a powerful source of strength. It gives us the steady energy to keep growing. Personal growth is not just about what changes inside our own minds. It is also about how we connect with the people around us. I used to think that self-improvement was a lonely path I had to walk by myself. However, I am coming to understand that sharing our experiences with others makes life far richer and more meaningful. One Saturday afternoon, I join a volunteer group at our local public library. We help organize old storybooks, repair worn book covers, and create a cozy reading area for children. I meet neighbors of all ages. Students, parents, and retired teachers. We share stories, laugh together, and enjoy working side by side. A high school student named Sam tells me how nervous he felt on his first day of volunteering. I was afraid I wouldn't fit in, Sam admits with a small smile. But helping out here made me feel part of a welcoming community. His simple words echo in my mind. Deep down, we are all searching for genuine connection, to feel valued, accepted, and part of something meaningful. Real progress is not just about becoming a better individual. It is also about encouraging and lifting up those around us. At the end of the volunteer session, I feel a deep sense of contentment. My shoulders are tired, but my spirit feels light and joyful. I write in my journal. Growth is not a solo journey. It is a beautiful experience we create together with others. Sometimes, making progress means acquiring new skills and positive habits. Other times, making progress means letting go of old weight. It means releasing clutter, old expectations, and past regrets. One rainy afternoon, I organize an old desk drawer in my room. Inside, I find a dusty notebook from 4 years ago. In that notebook, there were detailed plans I never completed, unfulfilled goals, and old dreams that no longer fit who I am today. For a moment, a wave of sadness washes over me. It feels like looking at missed opportunities. But then, a clear realization comes to me. It is completely natural to change directions. It is okay to let go of old ideas that no longer serve your present journey. The Jack who wrote those old plans 4 years ago was living a different chapter. I am living a new chapter now. I carefully recycled those old pages, not out of anger, but with gratitude for what they taught me at the time. I stand by my window, watching the rain wash the dust off the green leaves outside. Releasing old expectations feels just like that. It clears room for fresh possibilities to enter. I sit down and write in my journal. Today, I let go of yesterday's worries. I let go of outdated expectations. I make space for new experiences to unfold. 6 months have passed since I made my initial promise. So many positive changes have quietly taken root in my routine. And one of the most powerful realizations I have gained is this. True inner transformation often happens in moments of quiet reflection. One calm Sunday morning, I decide to spend the entire day in quiet solitude. No smartphone, no television, no loud music, no busy plans. Just me, my thoughts, and the quiet comfort of my room. At first, it feels unusual. My hand instinctively reaches for my phone out of force of habit. My mind feels slightly restless, wondering what to do next. However, as the hours pass gently, something beautiful occurs. The inner noise, the busy thoughts, daily worries, and endless to-do lists, begins to settle down. I sit near the window and watch the clouds float effortlessly across the vast blue sky. I listen to the calm, steady rhythm of my own breathing. In that uninterrupted stillness, I begin to understand my true values with crystal clarity. I reflect on what truly matters to me: kindness, learning, health, and genuine relationships. Not what social media promotes. Not what quick trends demand. But what brings authentic peace to my heart. I open my brown journal and write down. Silence is not empty time. It is a quiet space filled with clarity and answers. From that Sunday onward, I protect these quiet moments as an essential part of my week. A calm walk through the woods without headphones. 10 peaceful minutes sitting with a cup of tea in the morning. These small, intentional pauses help me grow strong from the inside out. Personal progress is rarely dramatic or loud. Most of the time, it is quiet, subtle, and almost invisible day to day, much like a tree deepening its roots deep beneath the soil before growing tall branches toward the sun. I experienced this firsthand when I began jogging around the local lake. When I started, I could barely jog for 6 minutes without feeling out of breath. My mind wanted instant endurance. I wanted to run 3 miles smoothly right away. But my body needed time and practice. It was easy to feel impatient. It was easy to think I wasn't making progress. Yet, I continued stepping onto the lake trail every morning. 6 minutes became 12 minutes. 12 minutes slowly grew into 20. Consistently, week after week, my stamina improved. One bright morning, several months later, I jogged around the entire lake for 45 minutes without stopping. I stood near the water's edge, breathing deeply, a big smile spreading across my face. It wasn't a sudden miracle. It was the steady result of small, continuous actions repeated over time. I realized that this truth applies to every single aspect of life. Building confidence, learning a new language like English, cultivating patience, or mastering a skill all follow the exact same path. If you keep showing up day after day, the results will naturally follow. I write in my journal. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is the active trust that small, daily efforts will build remarkable changes over time. One pleasant evening, I sit on my porch and look out at the quiet neighborhood streets. My life is far from perfect. There are still unexpected challenges to navigate. There are still unanswered questions about the future. Yet, my heart is filled with immense gratitude. I am grateful for a warm, comfortable home. I am grateful for nourishing meals on my table. I am grateful for supportive conversations with friends like David and wisdom from neighbors like Arthur. I am grateful for a healthy body that allows me to walk, jog, and explore nature every day. I am grateful for a curious mind that continues to learn, adapt, and expand. I have developed an uplifting evening routine, writing down 3 specific things I am thankful for before I go to sleep. At first, my list focused on simple things. I am thankful for the sunny weather today. I am thankful for an enjoyable conversation at work. I am thankful for a tasty dinner. Over time, my sense of gratitude grew much deeper and richer. One of the most rewarding discoveries on this path of personal development is learning that your growth naturally lights the way for others. While volunteering at the library, I continued to mentor Sam, the shy high school student. We organized book displays together and talked about our favorite stories. I shared my own past struggles with feeling self-conscious and how taking small steps helped me gain confidence. Gradually, I watched Sam blossom. He began greeting library guests with a welcoming smile. He shared his creative ideas for story hour during group meetings. Seeing his newfound self-assurance blossom brought immense joy to my heart. When we choose to step out of our shell, we give permission to those around us to do the same. Our quiet courage can inspire someone else's courage. Our kindness can plant seeds of hope in another person's day. I open my journal and write down. Growth expands when it is shared. The more encouragement you offer to others, the more your own heart grows. One autumn evening, Arthur invites me to his cozy home near the edge of the forest for warm tea. His living room is filled with shelves of classic literature, old wooden clocks, and framed photographs of scenic places. We sit near a crackling fireplace as the evening wind rustles through the outdoor trees. Arthur shares fascinating stories from his younger years, stories of traveling to mountain villages, navigating difficult times, and celebrating moments of joy. Some tales bring cheerful laughter, while others carry a gentle, reflective sadness. Yet every single story is rich with timeless wisdom. Stories are how we pass down understanding from one generation to another, Arthur says, holding his mug of tea. They remind us of where we have been and offer light for the steps ahead. His words resonate deeply within my mind. I realize that every individual is writing their own unique story every single day. It doesn't need to be a tale of grand fame or flawless success. It is a story of learning, feeling, trying, and evolving. Every single chapter, even the challenging ones, adds value and depth to the complete picture. When I return to my house later that night, I open my brown journal and flip all the way back to the very first entry I wrote months ago. I read through every handwritten page, seeing the record of my small victories, messy attempts, and quiet thoughts. Each note represents a step forward on this path. I smile softly to myself. I am truly grateful for this ongoing journey, and I know there are many beautiful chapters yet to be written. Seasons cycle continuously, and so do we. When I first started writing in this journal, it was early spring, cool mornings, budding trees, and crisp air. Now, late autumn has arrived in full color. The leaves on the high forest trees have transformed into brilliant shades of amber, gold, and deep red. The afternoon daylight is shorter, but the evening sunsets glow with vibrant hues of orange and purple. As I stroll down the forest path, I watch the leaves drift gently down to the soil below. Months ago, I might have viewed falling leaves as a sad sign of ending. Now, I understand the natural rhythm much better. It is not an ending at all. It is a necessary, peaceful rest before fresh green life returns in the spring. Looking at my reflection in the calm river water, I realize how much my outlook has changed. The person walking beside the water today is no longer the same person who felt stuck in repetitive routines months ago. I feel more centered. I act with greater courage. I understand my values clearly. And I am learning to move through life with trust and patience. True progress is not always loud or instantly noticeable. It is often quiet, gentle, and gradual. However, when you take a moment to look back over your shoulder, you realize just how far those small daily steps have carried you forward. I open my journal under the golden canopy of autumn trees and write. Change is not something to run away from. It is a wonderful sign that we are active, growing, and alive. So, my dear friends at Explore English Podcast, as we journey through this story together, I want to leave you with this meaningful thought. Personal progress is never about achieving absolute perfection. It is not about having every answer worked out in advance. It is simply about taking small, intentional steps, day by day, step by step. Some days you will feel full of energy and confidence. Other days you might feel uncertain or tired. Both experiences are a normal, healthy part of the learning process. Do not rush your development. Do not compare your unique path to the timeline of anyone else. Trust your personal momentum. Celebrate your small daily efforts. Learn gently from your mistakes. And always keep walking forward with hope in your heart. Thank you so much for spending your time listening to this episode of Explore English Podcast. I'm Jack. Keep listening, keep practicing your English, keep shadowing my voice, and keep believing in your potential. As the river glides peacefully along its path today, the cool morning air continues to carry the gentle sound of the forest, guiding us quietly into our next peaceful moment.